Hey people, Kate Slink here. How are we doing? So we've got a new guy coming to town, and that's Khârn the Betrayer. Now, hopefully this will take our minds off at the moment in the world we live in, where snowprint are trying to rob us of blackstone and money for ammunition for our machines of war. But while that's all happening, this guy is coming very soon, in about 5 days actually. I think it's Sunday he should be out. And he looks amazing. He looks like he's so broken in areas. It's going to be so useful in a lot of areas, to be fair, this guy. So we're going to quickly go through, have a look at him in a lot of detail, and also we've got my one punch, one turn mode as well, just to see how he fares up. So, Khârn the Betrayer. So he has the blessings of Khârn, like the rest of them, which is a pretty decent trait across the whole faction. And with this guy, it's really going to help as well, especially in some tournament arenas. If you get to use him in the legendary events, do you know what I mean? This guy is going to be brutal. Final Vengeance, which a lot of heroes have now. So he gets his kind of last attack at the end. And a Rapid Assault. So similar to a Ragnar, where he has the +1 movement until he makes a melee attack. And the first melee attack is kind of plus 25% damage. So you really want to make sure at times you can get that in, because that can be pretty brutal. Now for his skills, I think this is probably going to be one of the characters that's got the best set of skills, to be fair. The Kill, Maim, Burn obviously does the piercing damage to adjacent enemy and deals 6 times damage to the adjacent enemy, sorry, and then deals the plasma damage also, so there's just loads of damages there. It obviously scales up in level, but yeah, there's pretty good damage as well, and the eviscerate damage is brutal with the 50% pierce ratio, so I do think this guy could do quite well against the tank. And then his passive, the Betrayer, so after performing a normal attack, Khârn performs a second attack targeting an adjacent enemy, dealing 4 times eviscerating damage. But this is the main thing you want to really keep an eye on, and making sure, because if he defeated an enemy at battle, at the start of this turn, he automatically moves up 2 X's towards the nearest unit, then deals more damage, 4 attacks again, to an adjacent unit. But Khârn prefers enemies this automatic move and attack, but targets friendly units if no enemy is in range. So you will see shortly that you've got to make sure that his enemy is in range, or she's just going to tear through your guys. And it's also just to get him in that rage, you've got to make sure, which will help for the bosses, that you kill one of the summons first with this guy, just so you can keep getting that extra attack, because it really will help boost up some numbers. He's got decent health, okay armor, and not bad damage, to be fair, at level 30. And it's great having the free movement plus the extra movement until he does the melee damage as well. So at legendary level, he's just a beast. The damage is pretty good. The health is not bad. His armor again is not bad. He's overall pretty decent. And yeah, the numbers just speak for themselves on the damage that he can do. And it's just not that. It's if you can get like the extra turn of damage, do you know what I mean? That's like 12 attacks every time, which we'll see shortly. Which it's brutal. It really is. It can be really good in a lot of different modes. But we'll see him in action, so you can see what I mean. So first, a bit of a PvP kind of scenario, going in there for Ros Wither. So if we look at that now, we're going to be at the rage. So now he's got that rage attack every time start the turn. He's going to go in there and do some damage. So we're going to skip the goes. Like I said, this is just a test environment. So start the turn, he goes in straight for Khârn and does the damage. Now it's his turn, go in again, do damage and damage. So he's pretty much killed him there. If you had another enemy in range, it can finish him off. But yeah, he's more or less toast. But we're just going to go in there and just skip the turn again and get him killed. He's having a hit back. Go in there. There we go. Do the kill. Now I'm going to show if the enemy runs away, they're away from 2 hexes, you can see. Now in Khârn's kind of like rage, he will just go for your own guys, go straight to Elder on there and kills him. That's why it's so important. I think if you're against him, it's going to be great for you to kind of get away if you can, because you're just going to get ripped through his own team. Or if you're playing him, just make sure that you're close to enemy, especially when he's at rage, because it's just going to rip through your team else. And it's just a quick video here of him against the Screamer Killer. As you can see, first I go in there and kill one of the enemies just so I can get that rage put in. And then we're just going to bring the Screamer Killer down. Go for it. There you are. Killed your enemy out of the way. And then now it's just all about rinse, repeat. Get some damage in. We've got him pinned. We can take the punch. So it's enemy turn. Goes in for there. So decent armor. No, so there's 4 hits. There's another 4 hits. There's another 4 hits. And it's just rinse, repeat. And as you can see, the damage is just crazy that you can get off in 12 hits. Again, there we go. Right, first 4 hits, bang. Look at the damage coming off that, the crits. 4,000s, 2,000s. I would say at times he's doing more damage. Yeah, you can see there, doing a lot more damage than Ragnar. If you can get some decent hits off there as well. So it's just doing crazy damage. Look at that, 6,000 again, 5,000s again, just coming out of him. So it's going to be good in a lot of different bosses, especially. I wouldn't say Morty, because you're going to be quite close. I mean, he'll do some damage. That's the team you got, but you're looking more Screamer Killer, Tank for sure. He's going to be really good at the Nids. It should be pretty decent at them. Who else? Silent King. If you can get him up there, I think again he could do some great damage to Silent King. So yeah, all in all, majority of bosses he should do well at. But I think a big top thing for this guy is going to be for the PvP side. In arena, tournament arena, he's just going to be brutal. He'll be able to rip through a lot of your team if you're not careful. Okay, now for the 1 turn 1 punch. Before I carry on, I just want to say this is not a metric. I've had a few people say it's tough to do this because it's like metric, but it isn't. It's just purely a bit of fun just to see how they kind of pair up with 1 turn 1 punch, but it says in the title. Do you know what I mean? This is not a way to determine who's a great character against another one, because some characters do need more than 1 turn to kind of buff them up, or they're not there to punch or anything like that. This is just purely a bit of fun. Don't take this as gospel metric, as a tier list or whatever. It's just some fun. And with this guy Khârn, it's no surprise he was just knocking out some crazy numbers, overkilling majority of the time, especially at legendary level. With all them extra attacks, he was just literally rinsing straight through Typhus. And yeah, was even being resilient, it was just ripping through him and just overkilling him. So it's no surprise with the scores that he is at top of the league at the moment. I mean, it's only mainly out of his faction, but it's shaping up to be a great faction, this. I'm looking forward to kind of doing other factions soon, going back into some old characters, seeing where they fit. But yeah, it's no surprise, the numbers were just crazy. Like I say, legendary, majority of the times he was overkilling, and epic side, it was just over 3,000 on average. So this guy's numbers, even at level 30, is pretty decent. I think if you can get him, you're going to see this guy a lot in tournament arena. But if you can get him, great. So that's all for a quick run through. Like I said, I'm really interested and looking forward to playing him out a bit more in the real world. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is there any areas you're think he's going to be really excel at? Is there any teams you think he's going to fit really well in? I'd love to hear from your comments below. Also, don't forget to check out some other videos. And also don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Take care. Bye-bye.